Good evening, my friends. This is Santa Claus bringing you the news on this 19th day of November, 2025, a day that reminds us of history, as it was on this very day in 1703 that the mysterious man in the iron mask passed away in the Bastille. Oh my, we have much to share tonight about our world, and I must say my heart is heavy with some of the stories from abroad. In Lebanon and Israel, military airstrikes have resumed, with Israel conducting operations in southern Lebanon after warning civilians to evacuate. These strikes follow earlier incidents that claimed lives, including students on a bus. My dear children around the world deserve peace and safety, not the sounds of war overhead. Meanwhile, across the globe in Ukraine, at least 25 precious souls were lost when Russian forces launched a massive attack with nearly 500 drones and missiles against apartment buildings in Ternopil. This occurred while President Zelenskyy was traveling for peace talks, a reminder of how desperately we need dialogue instead of destruction. In these bitter cold temperatures, power outages affect the most vulnerable, and I ask that we keep them all in our thoughts and prayers tonight. Speaking of Ukraine, internal challenges are growing as a corruption investigation has implicated associates close to President Zelenskyy, fracturing the wartime unity that has sustained the nation through its darkest hours. The accusations that some enrich themselves while soldiers make the ultimate sacrifice has deeply troubled the Ukrainian people. We must remember that leadership comes with great responsibility, especially in times of crisis. Turning our attention to Brazil, justice has been served in a troubling case where military officers were sentenced for plotting violence against President Lula before his inauguration. While accountability is important, it saddens me to see such division in any nation's politics. We must always seek peaceful transitions of power and respect democratic processes. In the United States, President Trump welcomed the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia to the White House, dismissing concerns about the 2018 killing of journalist Jamal Khashoggi. The president has also proposed selling advanced F-35 fighter jets to Saudi Arabia, which has raised concerns in Israel about maintaining its air superiority in the region. These delicate matters of diplomacy remind us that peace requires both strength and compassion. There was a moment of concern in South Korea today when a ferry carrying 267 passengers ran aground. The rescue operation has been swift, with no casualties reported so far, a blessed relief, especially as this incident brings back memories of a tragic ferry disaster in 2014. I'm grateful for the brave rescuers who rushed toward danger to help others. In matters of trade and resources, Western nations are working to develop their own supply chains for rare earth elements, reducing dependence on China. Meanwhile, diplomatic tensions between China and Japan have led to a Chinese travel warning that has severely impacted Japanese tourism, with one small tour operator losing 80% of its bookings. These economic ripples affect everyday people who depend on these businesses for their livelihoods. On a positive note of cooperation, the Dutch government has returned control of chipmaker Nexperia to its Chinese parent company after previously taking it over amid international trade tensions. Such gestures of goodwill can help build bridges rather than walls. In Washington, Congress has approved a bill requiring the release of documents related to Jeffrey Epstein, with strong bipartisan support. And President Trump has called for a single federal standard to govern artificial intelligence, warning that state-by-state regulation could undermine growth in this important technology and allow China to gain advantage. As I conclude tonight's broadcast, I'm reminded that even in our divided world, we share common hopes for peace, security, and prosperity. In every conflict zone, in every diplomatic negotiation, in every economic challenge, there are families just like yours hoping for a better tomorrow. Let us hold space in our hearts for all who suffer tonight and commit ourselves to being agents of peace and goodwill wherever we can. This is Santa Claus, wishing you all a blessed evening.